And we're here to talk about the emotion code and the body code and pets and their people. So, have you ever had the experience of having to introduce your older pet to the brand new cute little kitten or puppy or baby? And the older dog can feel a little out of place. And sometimes the older dog can show some aggression. They're definitely saddened. They have, they have their feelings hurt. They feel like they've just been cast aside because everybody's oohing and cooing over this cute little new one. So that's what we're here to talk about tonight. If you are watching live and you have an opportunity to tell me where you're visiting from, that would be fantastic. And I'm thinking that I didn't, normally I have my framework around here and it is not on tonight, but that's okay. So I'd like to show you who I have been working on today. I need to move over to, okay, I promise I'm going to get going here. So I have to show you this new little puppy. His name is Samson. Isn't he just the cutest little thing? And it doesn't matter what kind of baby we're talking about. If it's a baby person or a baby puppy, colt, cow, goat, kitten, bird, all of them are just the cutest. So little Samson has just joined a family. He, in this picture, is about 10 weeks old. And his big brother, coming up here in a picture, I am just scrolling through them at the bottom. His big brother, I was trying to get a close-up. That's what I was doing right before we started. So his big brother, Murphy, has been a little bit jealous. And you can see here on Murphy's face, he doesn't look quite so comfortable. So what I did today was I worked with both of them, and I found a lot of trapped emotions, of course. So now if you're joining me for the first time and you are not familiar with what I'm talking about by referring to the trapped emotions, let's see, I think I'm going to need to hide this picture here of Samson for a little bit so that you can see behind me. I have the Emotion Code book, which was written by Dr. Bradley Nelson. He is a retired holistic chiropractor, and he discovered this system called the Emotion Code. He was working on people, doing really fine adjustments. Everything in their spinal system was perfectly aligned, and yet they would continue to have some of the same ailments that had brought them to him originally. So he was able to discover the system that he found that really what is happening is that people have emotions that get trapped inside of them. And if you think of our bodies as energy, and we have this energy that gets stuck for some reason, we really didn't fully process the event. It gets stuck in our energy system and it can cause a difficulty for us. It's almost like if there's a speed bump or something that you're hitting, if you're driving along and all of a sudden you hit a speed bump, it's very jarring. And so these emotions that get trapped can do the same thing for us. They can just impede our process with things. They can cause difficulties in relationships because it's almost like having a bad program in your computer. You're not working with the update. You're working with something that's old, that is tripping up your system, and everything is just going slower. And that is where the emotion code comes in for relationships, personal productivity and success, old beliefs that were programmed into us that we just adopted because that's how our adults around us when we were growing up were talking. So it could be in relation to anything. If you always heard something like you're never going to be able to do that, you'll never be a success at that, you start integrating that into your own subconscious, and then you just have this repeating loop of telling yourself that you're not really going to be able to do it, and you're really not going to be able to be a success. And so some of these negative loops that we have are what the emotion code is designed for, that it can just sort of break that pattern, get rid of this old, outdated programming, clear it away, and then suddenly you're able to put in the programming that you want. So it's a beautiful system. And one of the other really fantastic things about it is that we don't really need to know the story behind it. So in case you were in some sort of terrible event that you really don't want to have to retell that story and relive that event again, the emotion code is able to ask questions. It's a yes and no question. It goes into the energy field, and so it's actually really quite simple, but you don't have to retell the story, and you can experience the relief. So it's really wonderful. Let me take a sip actually of my tea tonight. Talking a lot can get my throat a little bit dry, and so having a tea, if you have tea or coffee or some other sort of beverage, please join me. So back to Samson and Murphy. So this is the emotion code chart that I am using. Again, this was designed by Dr. Bradley Nelson. And so studying under him, then I am certified in both his programs of the emotion code and the body code. And when I was working with Murphy earlier today, now Murphy's the older dog. He's about 8 years old. Excuse me. And he has also in the last year had 2 physical injuries. Hurt both a front leg and a back leg. And they were both addressed very well by the veterinarian. But both of them have sort of hindered his ability to carry on as he had before. He was a very powerful hunting dog, and a cut on his foreleg has made it impossible for him to go out through fields again. And then he also has an injury to his back leg, it prevents him from being able to run the way he used to. So he has lost a lot of power in his being in the last year. So he's dealing with these injuries, and then in comes this cute little puppy. It's a little bit hard to take. So we are dealing with dogs right now tonight. This is a situation that can present itself with any kind of pet, or a pet and a new baby, a new boyfriend or girlfriend, or even if you're in a work situation and you're kind of the senior person, or you've been around, you've been feeling pretty comfortable, and suddenly this brand new star comes in. It can kind of ruffle one's feathers a little bit, as they say. So some of the things that I found with Murphy today was that he had, number one, a heart wall. And that is something that is pretty self-explanatory. If you think about the words heart wall, it's a wall around your heart. Typically, you build it as a means for self-protection. It's something that we just do subconsciously. It's like, oh, okay, I don't want to be hurt like that. I don't want to feel that pain, so I'm just going to wall it off. And what happens is, initially, it can be a self-protective mechanism, but as it goes on, it's actually rather destructive, because it prevents you from growing closer to other people or having deeper relationships. It can also prevent you from just moving forward in your life. So Murphy definitely had a heart wall, and his heart wall was Let me just, he had a heart wall of fear. I'm looking at my notes here of what I had processed for him earlier today. And he also had a heart wall of helplessness. So, and then when I was working on his front leg, it was definitely a feeling of an emotional, a trapped emotion of failure. So all of those actually really make sense if you think about his having been this powerful hunting dog and now suddenly he's not able to do it. He knows he's had these injuries. And so, yes, if he was designed to be a hunting dog, it's something he loved to do, then, and now he can't, of course, that would make sense. If anybody would love doing a certain thing, having a certain passion in their life that they're no longer able to partake in, then these feelings of failure and helplessness, heartache, they make sense. So, and then in case you are watching and you are opposed to hunting, I am sorry that you feel that way. With working with this particular animal, that is something that he does or is something that he did. And so that is just part and parcel of working with animals, that whatever their person feels needs to be addressed, whether it's a working animal or just a cuddle bunny. that is what they do. So that's why I'm referring to the hunting. And then he also had some emotions that were specifically addressing the puppy. And with those emotions, I'm working off of a code here. So he had some feelings of anxiety and despair. And then he also had some feelings of discouragement and rejection. So through using the emotion code system, I was able to release those for him. And then in working with Samson, this little puppy, let me put Samson's picture back up. I will find it. So Samson is just a cute little guy. He's got a sweet little face. He's going to be a big dog. At this picture, he's probably 18 or 20 pounds, and he's likely to grow to be about 90 pounds or maybe 100. He's going to be a big boy. And so the emotions that I found with Samson is that he wants to be friends with Murphy, and he was afraid of feeling rejected. He's also had some shock and terror, probably associated with his move from his mother and his family to going to his new home. It's all a completely new world and nothing familiar for him. So he also had some feelings of anxiety, despair, nervousness, worry, crying, and sadness. So releasing all of those, I will give you a report next week how they are doing. I'm expecting them to turn into be best of buddies, Samson and Murphy. And so this is something that is hopefully a very healing experience for them. And one of the benefits of the emotion code is that it works over a distance. So we would work together. If you are interested in working with me directly, we would work either over Zoom so that you and I can see each other and feel like we are working one-on-one in the same room, even though we could be a world apart. And then additionally, I am able to do some things, work with some people through email. So we can, you can share your information, that the topics that you want to have worked on. I can work on them separately, let you know the time frame that's assigned to you, and then connect with you after it's done. So it's also very efficient in terms of time, and so efficient in terms of time that you don't necessarily have to be fully present live and in person. And it's great to being able to connect through the internet. I mean, it's just a really fantastic opportunity that we are living in this day and age where something like this can benefit us. And then coming up, I have some special programs coming up. So one of them is quite important. I am broadcasting this in mid-April, and Mother's Day is coming up in about a month. And so the commercials are going to start, and all of the wonderful news about, let's celebrate moms. They should be celebrated. Being a mother is, as they say, one of the hardest jobs ever in your lifetime and in the world. And there are incredible people, incredible women that are mothers. Some mothers are not so great, and that can be a problem when people are seeing the commercials about celebrate your mother, and everybody is saying, what are you going to do for your mother? And people are like, I don't think I'm going to do anything for her, because not every person is as dedicated a mother as some other mothers are. So celebrate the very dedicated mothers, and then do an emotion code that can help you with whatever experience you had. Then we also have people where their mother has passed away. We have people that have also had children, so they expected to be a mother, and for some reason the child died either shortly before birth or in infancy or at a young age. Sadly, that's a very difficult thing. There are plenty of mothers who have outlived their children. It's one of the hardest things, they say, to have to deal with in the world. So I'm having some special healing sessions that we can do. I believe that I'm going to be doing these by text and email. So you're going to find more information on my website. And so that is something that we'll be doing over the next couple of weeks. And it's really important. There's a lot of people, Mother's Day is a really sad day. You miss your mom. You miss having a good mom. You miss having the person that you knew. There's also a lot of people that, again, Mother's Day is really difficult. Their mother might be at the end of their life. And so it is just a struggle. So my heart goes out to all of you that might be dealing with the sadness of a Mother's Day. So do please join me for that pop-up. And then I have another one that I'm going to be doing, which is going to be a little bit more fun. I am doing a 4-session series. We will be working on Zoom, and it is for your pet, your household, your relationship with your pet, and the relationship between your pet and the people in the house. So you might have a pet that is maybe having some sort of difficulty. So it could be separation anxiety, it could be jealousy of another animal in the house, or that new love in your life. And do I have my worksheet here? Yes. So with my worksheet, our topics are going to be actually doing a reset for your pet's general mental mindset and some physical alignments. And then there's a bonus for the pet's person. And so that will, again, be a mental mindset. Then additionally, we're going to be dealing on week 2 with pet separation anxiety, jealousy, sibling rivalry. We have a week in there where it's going to be your custom topic. So whatever it is that is really specific to you and your household and your pet. And then additionally, that first week I didn't mention, we're going to have a couple of habits. Too bad. We can have a couple of habits that your pet is doing that you need to eliminate. So might be dumpster diving or running away, barking at the mailman, scratching up your furniture, marking territory, things like that. If you have a horse and it's bucking people off, what have you, we will be able to address those individual items. So for this, it's actually pretty fun. I work with a group, so there will be at least 4 people in the group. You'll all have some individual time assigned for you and your particular needs. And then the fun part is also just being present for these little sessions. You really learn a lot, and there's a nice little overflow that you can also have things released during another person's session. So watch for that information. It will be coming up more, but it's going to be the first 4 Tuesdays in May, 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 3 o'clock Eastern time. So that definitely, you're being alerted early. I have not yet quite posted on my website, but of course you will find me at getfeelingbetter.com. And I think I can finally get this. Yeah, so getfeelingbetter.com. You also found me here through YouTube, so there's a link, and also on my Facebook page. And I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. I will see you again soon. I'm going to come back with that update on Samson and Murphy and let you know how great they are doing. So thank you so much. I will be seeing you soon. I hope that you are doing well, and do come and work with me for an emotion code, body code session.